let's talk about making your own custom parts out of this chipboard material here so that whatever you imagine you can make up and add as a moving part to whatever you want. Now you can have something like eyebrows attached and moving on your lunchbox. You can have an arm attached to your fridge. Totally up to you and what comes to your mind. I always love going from the chipboard material, maybe changing what parts and having separated head and body and legs. You can see that tail is connected in a weird way, all using chipboard material. And of course, I have a motor attached to the back there so that the tail can move. And the idea is this is a cat who can do a pull-up. And I love, love, love chipboard because it's this unique and really easily accessible material that is, actually I'm using right here, I'm using a cereal box that I had cleaned out, which is handy. And we're gonna use this as an example to make up, say, I had gone online, saw a whole bunch of different photos of cartoon giraffes, and I had drawn this up specifically with a pencil so I can go over lines, and then maybe I'm like, I didn't really like this part, and I can erase that part that closes the mouth. Maybe I want the open mouth, maybe I want it to be bigger or smaller. I can go over it and maybe go like that. Oh, that actually looks a lot better. Okay, so I'll do that. And so pencil is really great because you can erase lines, nothing's too permanent, and then I can go over it later on with a marker. It always looks a lot better after you cut it out to go over the whole border with one color. So you notice how the body of this cat here, Charlie, really pops there. And I love mixing materials. I love adding something like those fuzzy straws to really bring it to life. And of course, I've added some linkage to it so that it actually can move around. Super cool. Okay, so you've gone online, you found something that you really like, and something that you're like, okay, here's some ideas to draw out, say, the wing, the hand. It could be however small you want. It could be however big you want. Of course, what we're going to use is this measurement mustache. This measurement mustache is really handy because you'll be able to mark out places where you're going to punch holes into the chipboard material, and those holes will actually be the places where you'll fit your servo horns in using the tab method, and then you'll be able to connect your custom design to a servo, so then your custom design is the thing that actually moves in response to whatever it is that you've coded with your microbit. Fantastic. Okay, so we're using our measurement mustache. Oftentimes I'll start with the measurement mustache, make sure whatever I'm making is thicker than that. If you want to make something really small and still have it connected to the motor, if it's smaller than the measurement mustache, you'll then have to not use that tab method. You'll have to use something like hot glue or tape or Velcro to connect your design to your servo motor. But this is nice and big. Could be a hand, could be a hat that's tipping, could be eyebrows. I'm using this giraffe head is my design today. Okay, so I've measured out those two lines as to where I'm gonna punch out a hole. And notice you need, and if you're going to be punching out holes for the tab method, you will need a couple pieces of scrap cardboard, about 2 inches of scrap cardboard with a cutting board underneath. So I have this gray cutting board. I'm not going directly onto this black table. If you do not have a cutting board, I would suggest getting a lot more cardboard, maybe 4 inches of cardboard, just so that when you punch through your chipboard material, you won't go all the way through and damage the table or damage whatever else you might be working on. So that's to protect my working surface. Fantastic. Okay, so I have that scrap material underneath. I have the cutting board underneath that, so I know I'm protected. I have these lines here. Before I cut out my design, I'm gonna punch those holes in because I've noticed there's a lot more structure when when I'm punching out the holes. So I've noticed if I cut it out, then punch out the holes, I've actually noticed my material might crumple, it might bend. I don't really like that. Maybe you're actually looking for that. Maybe that's intentional. That would be awesome. You can do that. So for me, I'm not looking for those creases. I'm going to just put my screwdriver into that place that I've marked and just push down with my hand. Ooh, I hear a pop there. And I might even wiggle around a little bit. And same thing on this other side. Awesome. Open that up a bit. And I might even get my servo horn and start using that tab method there. Open it up. Make sure there's enough room that's opened up for the servo horn to fit in. Very nice. And this is just one component. Of course, with my cat here, you notice I've separated the head as one part so that I can maybe later on attach that to a motor and make it move separately from the body. I also made the feet separate parts right there because I knew it would be really cool if I added the feet separately. So you can totally add the eyes separately. You could totally add maybe these parts that are sticking out of the head, those horns or the ears. All these parts could be separate parts that could maybe move. I've set them all as one part to start. Then you can just easily cut this out. So feel free to get your own chipboard if you want. Maybe you have some already. If you get your own chipboard, you can get it from like cookie boxes. You can get it from, of course, this cereal box that I'm using. Nice. And if you don't know how to draw, like if you're making a bat or something, think of the different parts that you'll need, like the head, the ears, the eyes, the mouth, the body, the wings, maybe the feet, the tail, and maybe even the fur. So there are a lot of different components that might go into your creation. You can think about all those different parts and what different parts will you make out of chipboard, what different parts might you make out of some other material you find, like a bottle or some other scrap piece of recycling that's clean. I always love to use things like other cardboard or chipboard boxes, like cookie boxes full together, or like great bodies or great soccer nets, things like that. So think about the different materials you'll use. For the cat that I had, I knew I wanted chipboard to be pretty much the whole body, so I made the chipboard into the different parts of the tail. I had 3 different sections, oval sections for the tail so that it can actually wobble around quite a bit. And I'll just go over this now a lot more generally. There we go. And I can be a lot more fine-tuned, go over those lines really specifically a little bit later on. I'll really fix up the head a bit later on. So I've cut it out. I still have some more to cut out near the top, which I'll do a little bit later on. I'll move all my other materials aside. Now that I've punched my holes in already, I can put my cardboard aside. Now I just have that part. It is now ready to attach to my servo horn using that tab method that we have another video for. And now I can attach this to a motor. Oh, this looks amazing. And now I can attach it to a motor to wave back and forth and maybe dip down and eat something. Or maybe even if I were to bend it up, I can have it look around. Fantastic. So